part of the Good Life program on healthy aging brought to you by UC Davis and the City of Oakland, bringing spiritual health classes directly to you all live. Before we get started, let's go over some helpful tips. You will see a small icon at the bottom of your screen that says chat. You will see a sidebar on the right hand side when you click the icon. At the bottom of the sidebar, you can actually type in any comments or questions that you might have during the session. This Zoom class will be recorded and broadcasted on Facebook and YouTube. So please take this time to change your Zoom name if you wish to be identified differently. This is a friendly reminder that by remaining in the Zoom meeting, you consent to allowing your image and photo, video, or film to be used for any legitimate purposes by the organizers, producers, sponsors, and assignees. Lastly, let's remember that this is Zoom. It is not perfect. Your sound or internet might cut out, but remember we are still here, and you can always access us on Facebook Live. So if you experience any technical issues accessing our class, please give us a call at 510-255-0232 or email us at info@thegoodlifepath.org. And if you enjoyed today's conversation and wish to be a part of our live session, please support us by clicking on the link posted in the chat to get your free Zoom invitation and reminder to our next session. Because Mindful Mondays is open to all interested in creating a safe space to promote personal growth and advocate for spiritual and mental health awareness, we are committed to building a space for you to come together with others who are open to expand their consciousness. We are not trained therapists and cannot provide you with expert advice about your specific legal work or family situations. However, we can provide you with thoughtful opinions based on our personal experiences. This space is sacred and we expect our conversations to remain private. We ask that you speak respectfully towards one another and not tell group stories outside of our sacred space. We are not doctors and this is not a formal mental health guidance, but this is Mindful Mondays with Iya Kemi, brought to you by UC Davis and the City of Oakland, bringing spiritual health classes directly to you all live.
Happy Monday, happy Monday. It is the second Monday of October, and I am looking forward to today's topic. I see some beautiful faces and names that I haven't seen in quite a while, so it is definitely perked my spirit up today. As always, for those that may just be joining, thank you for joining Mindful Mondays with Iya Kemi. Today's topic is going to be breast cancer awareness, but because it's mindfulness, I'm going to come up with some prevention things that can help us versus just the awareness. As always, again, if this is your first time, I always go into a meditation first just to kind of align us with our week. So I will turn my video off so that you are able to pay attention to what I am going to share on the screen. The audio that I'm sharing today is not owned or partnership with Mindful Mondays or with The Good Life or UC Davis. If there is a commercial that interferes, please be gracefully forgive me, but I believe that we will not be interrupted on today. Take your time. I want to make sure that I'm sharing the audio. Take your time to get your breath into alignment, to calm down and pace your heart in a way if you've been kind of moving around this AM. And I want you to think of an intention of nurturing yourself and loving on yourself. What does that look like in your day-to-day now? And then maybe we'll come up with some things as we're going through this meditation of receiving this energy to ground ourselves, to nurture ourselves, and to bring ourselves into what is to come for this week. Again, take a moment to take a deep breath, passing down your heart to your belly as deep as you can take it. On your exhale, you can exhale through the mouth. And this video does have affirmations and words of encouragement. So if you happen to watch the video while you are meditating, visualizing what you want to intend for your week, give yourself that moment of grace to ground yourself and to prepare yourself for all the abundance that is here now. For those that may not be able to see the visual, I will be guided to share what is being said. Feel where your body feels right now to affirm yourself. Just for today, surrender your worries to the great mystery and be okay with not having everything figured out right now. Know that you are safe and give yourself the permission to let go. For today, release all impatience, bitterness, and anger, and offer yourself the gift of peace. Remember to breathe through this process. If you're holding your breath, clenching your jaws, let go of what no longer feels right to create space in your life for what inspires you. Step into a new and open space where inspiration, joy, and love will be able to find you. If your shoulders are leaning forward, bring them back and open up your heart, your chest, to trust the process, to surrender to the higher intelligence of life. If you feel any tension anywhere in your body, allow yourself to rotate whatever that is, whether it's your shoulders, your neck, your head. Value yourself and your life and your time and your energy, knowing it's the most precious resource. Letting go of thoughts, things, and people that deprive you of the joy, safety, and growth. And sometimes that can include our own selves, things that we need to let go of within ourselves. So for today, may we choose to place our focus on the things that fills us with gratitude and love. As you breathe in, know that you're breathing in love and alignment into every cell of your body. Giving thanks for the activities of your limbs, your organs, knowing that you are meant to be where you are supposed to be at this time in order to learn and grow. Gratitude for being present on a new day, new opportunities. Being patient with the unresolved pain and choosing to be gentle as you meet the parts of you that still need healing, attention, and love. For every flower was once in the darkness of soil before it could blossom. Be patient with yourself because growth takes time, just as healing takes time. Know that you will get where you want to be, but right now you are here in this moment, in the now, and that matters. Giving yourself the permission to not have it all figured out right now. Appreciate the questions that you have as they spark the curiosity within you, allowing yourself to feel the desire to explore and learn more. Take a deep breath in, knowing that everything is perfectly unfolding for you and trusting that everything is aligning for you. The right people are coming into your life and the right opportunities are manifesting. Allow yourself to surrender to the process. And lastly, give yourself permission to let go of all the worries that occupy your mind and lean into the possibility that everything will take care of itself. Let go for now and relax. Take a moment to allow the energy to settle, all that you saw, all that you felt, all that you are thinking about from that meditation. With today's topic being breast cancer awareness, if you are called to, give yourself a gentle hug or even a caress of placing your hand on your chest or your heart space. And if you are called to actually hold your both hands at the top of your chest, allowing yourself the grace, the ease to feel your heartbeat, to feel what that feels like to hold yourself. And even if you are led to grab your actual chest rest or go across and hug yourself, whatever that feels like in this moment, you deserve that, to give that to yourself. I want to share this topic today of breast cancer awareness. Although there's many people out here that are asking about prevention because breast cancer awareness, the history of it has been quite some time of it bringing this awareness. But when do we get to the point of prevention? And so, with this, 1 in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. Knowing the symptoms, early detection can save lives. And so, as I was looking into this, I didn't really understand the history or know the history, but when I saw that this awareness month was first observed in 1985, 40 years ago, it was founded by the American Cancer Society and a pharmaceutical company. That right there alone kind of did something in my mind. Okay, a pharmaceutical company. The pink ribbon, now an international symbol for breast cancer awareness, was introduced in 1992. And since then, the month of October has become synonymous with widespread efforts to raise awareness, support those affected by breast cancer, and fund life-saving research. Um, the mindfulness for me in this moment is the fact that it is founded or observed by a pharmaceutical company. And so I won't get into the politics of that, but it is something to be aware of because pharmaceutical companies, again, it's all about the mighty dollar for the most part. And so I want to go over a few things of how to identify the signs and symbols of the symptoms of breast cancer. It's the unusual pain in the breast. It's the lump or swelling in breast and or armpit. The skin changes, thickening, veins, dimpled appearance, a rash or an ulcer can appear on the breast. The nipple can have discharge, and one can have an inverted nipple. These are just some of the signs and symptoms of breast cancer. The stages of breast cancer, you have the abnormal cells at stage 1, then the early stage that it may have spread to other tissue in a small area. And then stage 2 is that it's a tumor that is between the lymph nodes, or 20 to 50 millimeters, and some lymph nodes are involved, and or a tumor larger than 50 millimeters with lymph nodes involved. And then stage 3, here is the regional spread, tumor being larger than 50 millimeters with one more lymph nodes involved across a larger region. And in some cases, there's no tumor present at all. It may be that the cancer just spread to the chest wall or the skin. And then stage 4 is the distant spread, when it spreads or metastasizes to other parts of the body. And so some of the factors that have been listed is gender, age, alcohol, radiation, genetic, hormone, and obesity. They did not talk about the foods of today's, what the foods and herbs and nutrition that can assist in the risk factors, but we can definitely talk about that a little bit. But the prevention of it is the right under exam below the breast, right under the arm, below the breast, examine in circles, examine under the left arm, and doing the same thing, examine above the breast, and then examine while laying down as well. I am going to show a massage from a Taoist. Some of you may have heard of Montauk Chia, but he is one that deals with the Tao, or the Tao. Some people would say they don't even pronounce the T. But that is something that he talks about, bringing the vitality back into the breast. And so the spiritual and emotional connection to breast cancer is often tied to bitterness, conflict, unforgiveness, unworthiness, the inability to nurture self, deep hurt, long resentment, deep grief, or hatred. Some of the other things that are in the photo: stress, alone, at a loss, worried, overwhelmed, feeling isolated, scared, can't sleep, terrified, worried again, frightened, confused, devastated, and struggling. So these are some of the things that spiritually and emotionally are connected to breast cancer. Okay, and I would say even to any form of cancer, because again, a tumor is a tumor. It's just, where is it located? Where is that frequency in the body for it to be going there first? And so that is something that has to be acknowledged. Some of the herbs and spices, you have turmeric, which is an active compound for anti-inflammatory, that inhibits the growth of cancer cells. Again, not just breast, but all forms of cancer. Green tea, it has been associated with reducing several risk cancers, or risk for several cancers. Then you have ginger. It's an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. It's studied also for anti-tumor effects on cancers. And then you have garlic. Some people I know actually eat a garlic clove a day. They carry the garlic around with me. But it extracts and has demonstrated these effects against breast cancer cells in the lab settings. So some people that may not even want to chew garlic, you can get the tincture. Sprouts, Whole Foods, places like that have tincture, or you can just make sure that your foods have a lot of garlic in it, or cayenne pepper is another one, which is another antioxidant that has been shown to be toxic to cancer cells and help prevention of their growth. So some people do a tea with turmeric, cayenne pepper, and ginger. You can bring that even in with the green tea and add turmeric or cayenne pepper. But I do know with the turmeric, there is black pepper that is needed to activate the compound in the turmeric for it to be fully beneficial. Okay. Then you have rosemary. Rosemary, again, it has compounds that are anti-inflammatory and anti-tumor. Again, it is something that's very good. You could do rosemary oil. You can do rosemary tea. You can add rosemary in your meals as well. But that is also an option. Oregano. Oregano oil is one of the things that was highly spoken of during the COVID 2020 years. And it's still something that's really good and spoken of being really good, oregano oil. But oregano, it slows the cancer growth and it also promotes cell death in some studies. And then you have fenugreek. Fenugreek also helps with the cell, decreasing the cell. The fenugreek seed is a good extract. I've just recently saw someone do a rosemary fenugreek mixture, herb, and they also utilize it for their hair as a hair tea. Because again, remember the cell, your skin is also a place for entry for these herbs and things. So that is something to consider. Parsley. Parsley is an antioxidant that is demonstrated activity against the breast cancer cells as well. And saffron, believe it or not, it is the most expensive spice, but it is one that inhibits the tumor growth as well and the progression of cancer. And so that is something as well. And so I do wanted to play and share something, but I do want to have a conversation about this. And how many of you know someone that has dealt with breast cancer, you yourself? What things do you know about in regards to not only awareness, but prevention? If you dealt with it, a friend or anyone of that nature. Miss Linda, think I saw you on mute. I don't know if it was a share. Samiko and Miss Kokoye, I'm not too sure. Miss Kokoye, I think you may want to share. And then you can also put
Yes.
it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I've had breast cancer, and I learned things about breast cancer that I never knew until I had it. And one of the things that Black women especially need to know is that we are 40% more likely to die. We are that same number more likely to get a later diagnosis. So when we think about ourselves, prevention really does become the issue for us. And all the things, of course, self exam, of course, mammograms, but all the other things that you talked about, spices and such not, I had never heard of that. So that now I think, especially for us as Black women, prevention, awareness, well, you got to be aware in order to prevent, right? But prevention is really the way for us to go. And I appreciate your bringing this out.
Oh, thank you. I just got some chills. I see Miss Benton has raised your hand.
Yes, I have oregano oil, and I would like to know how do you use oregano oil because it's real strong. Oregano oil. I don't know how to use it.
So oregano oil, yes, it is very strong, and thank you for that question. Some people put a drop in their tea. You can add it into your tea. You can add it into a smoothie. You can do that as well. Some people are bold enough to just drop it under their tongue. I haven't gotten there just yet. I got to have it in my water. But you can add it to a tea, you can add it to a smoothie. Those are ways that you can take it if it's too strong for you to just drop it under your tongue.
And do you think when we have a mammogram, do you think the X-ray does that, would that give you breast cancer instead of trying to see if you have it?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. No, it's not necessary that it will give you breast cancer. However, the radiation that does come from it has been a topic of it contributing to some things in regards to breast cancer. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to go into the details of that. But I do want to share something. I can't really share the audio, but it's a young lady who talks about these different things. And someone, I believe, left put a message in the chat that you can also put oregano oil on your skin. So you can also massage that into your breast or into the area that you know may be a little, hard, that may appear to feel like a tumor. So I hope that helps.
Right.
In regards to other options, there are other options. Instead of doing a mammogram, you can actually do thermography, which detects heat patterns and inflammation before the tumors form. That's no radiation, there's no compression, just an insight into early functional changes within the breast. Again, that's thermography, thermography. Then there's a breast ultrasound. This uses sound waves to visualize cysts, tissue density, and changes over time. It is safe, it is gentle, and especially effective for women with dense breast tissue. The other way that you can also detect is functional blood work. This blood work looks at the terrain cancer thrives in, not just the presence of a tumor. There's markers to track it, which include the HS-CRP, the LDH, the homocysteine, ferritin, and inflammation, oxidative stress. The hormone panels, that's one thing that we do not discuss, our hormone imbalance within the women, and then estrogen detox and balance, because oftentimes we're not detoxing ourselves or bringing a balance to our hormones. Vitamin D, zinc, and copper needs to be also increased to strengthen your immune system. And then also look for the CBC and metabolic panels. This deals with the oxygenation, liver function, and detox status. And so these are, again, some of the other routines and things that you can check in other than mammograms. Okay. There is recently a country, which I cannot think about this time. I don't think it was a whole continent, but there is a country that has now banned mammograms because they have linked to it not being beneficial for cancer, breast cancer. So there is a lot of research and studies coming out. So I won't say that it does, but again, there's a lot of things in countries that are removing that as a detective system, and they're coming into more holistic things like what I just shared. So hopefully that answers your question.
As far as age, do you think after a woman gets a certain age, then maybe she don't need it to do the
No,
mammograms, or you always need that?
I won't say that. No,
Okay.
I definitely won't say that. I think that we should always be aware of what's going on in our body and align with our body. You know, the awareness of what's happening in your body. For example, being aware of your chest being tight. When is the last time that you have massaged your breast or touched your breast? Because again, with Montauk Chia, it talks about the vitality. There's no movement there. It's like stagnant tissue that's not moving. And so I won't say that no, you should not do that. Again, I'm just here to bring mindfulness to it, but I do see that Miss Howard does have a share, and maybe has an answer for you.
Okay.
This is I'm a 16-year breast cancer survivor. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, and that beautiful.
And the other part, answering to Sedelia's question, there are guidelines and there are guidelines. Guidelines are exactly what they are. There's no right or wrong to when you should get when you should stop getting mammograms. I mean, if you look at all the guidelines, the American Cancer Society, the USD preventative guidelines, they all want to kind of put a number on it. But the reality of it is women are living longer, and an 80-year-old is just as feisty as a 40-year-old. And so even though most of the guidelines do the cutoff at 72, the reality of it is if you're still very vital and living and taking care of yourself and living on your own, you should, you should still be getting mammograms, because again, mammograms are more beneficial for older women than younger women, because you can see the fattier tissue versus the more denser tissue with the younger women. As far as the herbs that you mentioned, yeah, I mean, I've used all of them. I learned about turmeric when I was first diagnosed, so I've been putting the extract in my coffee every morning. I never miss a beat. And my turmeric has the black pepper with it. I mean, because again, I when I looked at it at the time, there was no family history. I didn't understand. I really do believe for me, the biggest link was the cell phone. I always kept my cell phone in my bra. So whenever I see young women with their cell phones up near their chest area, I don't have to know you. I will walk up to you and say, baby, that's a major link because of the amount of radiation from our cell phones. And again, that's a part of prevention, just being aware of what we're being exposed to, because like Coco Ye said, unfortunately, we are dying and we are having more aggressive forms of breast cancer at a much younger age. So therefore, those guidelines don't really pertain to us. You really do have to start screening earlier. You do have to look at family history is not a big factor with African American women, but I'm not so sure that that is a factor, because I think they just haven't been able to find the genetic link. I think what you have out there now is just not specific for us. I don't think that that is a factor, because as a retired nurse practitioner, I've seen family members that have either had lines of
Okay.
cancer, but there was no genetic link. And I don't think that's a factor. I think that we just haven't found the genetic link yet. And maybe in the future they will, particularly with things like triple negative breast cancer. So I think, prevention is really key. I mean, lifestyle changes, the things that we do to ourselves, for ourselves. And I think for me, when I've looked at the years, the two biggest factors that I linked in terms of breast cancer for myself was the obesity and lifestyle changes. I can control those. Those are the things that I have direct control over. What I don't have control over, the things that I don't know, and if there's a potential genetic factor. So changing our lifestyles, being mindful of what we eat, exercise, and physical activity, our levels of stress. I do believe that is a direct link in terms of the stress that we endure each and every day as being that strong Black woman, handling it all. I also subscribe to the fact that I do believe that breast cancer is a symptom of anger and all the stuff that we go through, and the holding in and not being able to let go. And that once you change the narrative, I think our bodies in general, whether all forms of cancer and illness as well, that once we start to realize that and change the environment around us, you do start to feel and are starting to be healthier.
Thank you, Miss Phyllis. I appreciate you sharing that. It's these conversations that bring the support that we need, because, again, oftentimes the research for us or the conversations with us is not, highlighted. Ms. Dolores, I think I saw you unmuted. Did you want to share today?
Yeah, I did want to just say that I agree with what Phyllis was saying. Also, I've navigated women in the medical system over the past, and I think that it is really important for us, particularly as Black women, to not listen so strictly to the guidelines, because I've navigated a woman who was 73, got diagnosed with breast cancer, and had been told not to have, that she didn't really need to have mammograms. And she was a viable Black woman who was independent, and she would have had a very different diagnosis had we not pushed for her to have a mammogram. And it is true. If you're 90 and you have a number of multiple comorbidities, then that looks different than how they would treat you, as opposed to being a very vibrant and active person, that you don't want to lose your life or change it because you waited, because someone said don't have a mammogram because now you're older, there's no need for it. So we have to be able to be self-advocates. And if we're not, then to take someone with you who can help you, bolster you to be able to ask for what you need.
Indeed. Thank you both, for all of you, for sharing in the chat. We have, it is my prayer that insurance companies start covering alternative medicines or methods as a part of preventative care. Yes, obesity plays a good part, and lifestyle is important too. Another lifestyle factor is the tendency to nurture everything and everyone but us, put everything and everyone first. I was going to get into that, and I'm still going to get into that, Ijanla. And then you have a person that has not been diagnosed with not having cancer gene does not mean you cannot get cancer. That is correct. Miss Benton, I see you have your hand raised. Hopefully they were able to answer.
Yes, thank you, Phyllis. But I wanted to, I know it's breast cancer, but I also wanted to say about the mammoth, I mean oh, I lost my thought. When you go to the doctor and cancer of the vagina, what do you call it? I forgot. Pap. They don't want you to have a pap smear, at a certain age. And they'll tell
Uh-huh.
you, and all of a sudden they say, well, every 3 years. But I said, no, I've had a pap smear every year since I was 16 years old. And I won one every year. And I still get them every year now because I will not.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to say that we have to do that for ourselves too.
Yes, we do have to advocate for ourselves. Thank you for sharing that. One of the things that with the last statement, they're saying that although the gene is not in the family and you can still get it, some of these internal conditions that can create the terrain for cancer to grow is chronic inflammation within the body. Meanings like, for example, you eat a lot of inflammatory foods. You don't eat things that bring down the inflammation in your body. The hormonal imbalance, especially estrogen dominance, the toxic overload of pesticides, plastic, endocrine disruptors, and heavy metals, poor detoxification in lymphatic system or stagnation. So definitely getting lymphatic massages or massaging your lymph nodes, because you have major lymph nodes right here under your arm. So that fluid, if it's stagnant, is right at your breast. One of the things that I also remember hearing is the wire bras. They cut off a circulation, so no more wire bras. If you can even look at the material that you're placing on your body. There's plastic in bras. There's this microfiber that is in bras. Your skin is the largest organ, so you want to look at that. Nutrient deficiencies and oxidative stress, emotional trauma, and stored grief in the body can also contribute to this. Electromagnetic and radiation exposure, which Miss Phyllis had mentioned with the cell phones. And then you have epigenetic changes, your environment, your diet, your emotions, and that can all alter your gene expression. So if you're always in a place of stress, especially these cities that are highly populated with noise, like it's just so much noise going on and a lot of traffic, and you have to drive through this traffic to get to work and be at work at a certain time. All of this stuff does have an effect on your body. It does have an effect and can contribute to creating these beautiful places that cancer finds itself in our body. And then again, looking at what Ijanla said, the breast, it is about nurturing yourself. And most of the time, Black women especially, we tend to nurture everybody in the world but ourselves. We'll make sure, I heard a woman say, you make sure that your baby is asleep before you, versus it being you in good, perfect health to take care of your baby. That is the mentality that has been, embedded in us for quite some time. And so, in what ways do we tend to ourselves? In what ways do we go to get massages? In what ways do we even sit in the tub and touch ourselves? Sometimes we just putting that lotion on so quick. Okay, I got somewhere to be, and then we were off. But how often do we take that time? And so, I do want to share something in regards to the massage of what, and I love that 12 days of self love. I love, love, love that. And so there's a towel breast massage that is shared. Yes, it is by a male image, but he's traveled around the world. I do not own the rights to this. Montauk Chia this is my, I'm Montauk Chia. Let me make sure I have a sound, but I do want to share this. And then I also want to recommend, because I've been fortunate enough to see people who were diagnosed and certain prayers, certain things were done, and certain advice was given that was followed, and the people didn't have breast cancer anymore. So it's really a spiritual, emotional, and physical thing that requires us to nurture ourselves. And so
the first thing, you warm your hand and rub your hand warm. And when you have chi, and you cover the breath, feel your hand, the energy, because milk can change is by chi, can change the milk back into life force, and you can bring down to your spleen, bring down to the liver. After that, you massage clockwise, 36, counterclockwise, 36. And after that, when you want to finish, again, bring the excess energy that you make to the organs. So women, when they learn how to massage the breast, they also have to learn how to contract the vagina together with the breast massage.
okay, so I just wanted to show that. I don't know how many of you saw that, but he has many videos and information about this. I love what you also shared, Ijanla, with the castor oil massage. With the massage that he just showed, it basically, he warmed his hands up, and you can do that with the oil in your hand, and place your hands on your breath. This is like a form of Reiki. You are sharing your energy with yourself. You are going to go in one direction 36 times, and then the other direction 36 times. And then you're going to take that energy and put it down towards your stomach spleen area, because that is your area of digestion. So when you poo, all of those things. Again, we are electromagnetic beings. We are filled with water. We have a beautiful ability to heal ourselves just by nurturing ourselves. And so one of the things that I noticed in my, and I don't think I've done this work with my god sister that's on the line, but I've had the opportunity to support women, as I shared. And there were certain opportunities that it was a group of women. It was a women's circle. So I don't know how many of you have this women's circle, but it is a safe space where you're able to be transparent and allow someone to pray over you. And in this space, we prayed over the woman, and we actually created a bath, and we actually massaged and held space for this woman and released energy that she didn't realize that she was holding. She had never been held by women in that capacity. She had never been nurtured by a woman in that capacity. And there's many of us that may have mothers that were a bit hard because they had no choice. They didn't have room to be soft. They didn't have the room to be nurturing because they had to go to work and deal with the husband or deal with all of these different things. So in the share of this video of what I was sharing about these different aspects, that emotional health is big in a lot of the things that show up physically. And so I definitely encourage you to massage yourself. See what that feels like. When is the last time, it's not about being touched by the opposite sex, same sex, or whatever the case may be, but in what ways do you nurture yourself in the tub or outside of the tub when you lotion your body? All of these different things. Miss Benton.
When you said 36 times, it rang the bell with me because my yoga teacher, Asian, her teacher taught her, if you put your hand on top of your hand, and if you rub around your stomach 36 times, I do this every day. If you just sit on the toilet, do that, and you'd be surprised how you can clean your bowels out.
Yes, it is part of the Tao practice. The Tao practice or Tao practice. I think I'm saying the T because I'm American, but the Tao practice is one that does talk about utilizing the chi, the breath, the energy within yourself to do healing work. And that is one that can help with your digestive system. Again, Mantak Chia, that's Mantak. And then Chia is Chia. He talks a lot about this form of self-care, nurturing, and healing, which is through the breath and through your own energy and being aware of where you're guiding your energy to within your body. So I definitely wanted to touch upon that. Also wanted to see, are there any other shares? I can definitely bring up the herbs if someone needs to see more about that, as well as the alternatives for detection. Miss Benton?
Yeah, every morning I make my tea. I'll get my tea, and then I'll put turmeric, cinnamon, nutmeg, coriander, ginger, dried ginger, ginger, cayenne pepper, black pepper, and now I've just added fresh ginger. I give my little grate over my cup, and I grate ginger into my cup, into my tea, and it is so delicious, with a little honey and agave. And if I drink my tea, there's a lot of the ginger left. I just get the spoon and just take it and swallow it. And it's just something to do
And
now.
that's why you so vibrant over there.
Okay. Okay. I wanted to share that.
That is one of the reasons you're so vibrant. So I will share Montauk Chia's website. He is, again, it's about the Tao. He is from Thailand. Let me get his website up so that I can share. And there's a lot of courses that he has online. Again, I'm not affiliated with him, but I have taken some of his courses. There are self-paced courses that you could take here, but again, it is to bring yourself to a place of alignment with your energy within yourself. Lots of books, lots of online workshops. Definitely has a resort out in Thailand if you want to take a trip to Thailand. But he does tour. He has been here in California. But again, there's also, you can download a PDF of how the practices are, again, if you are interested. Again, that tapping into your breath is something major. A lot of us are not taught that. We're not taught about the simplicity of the breath and how the breath helps. But I want to see, I think it's kind of like the inner alchemy is one of the best ones to start with if you're looking to get an understanding of the Tao. That is one of the ways that I did start gaining understanding of what that light is, or the light and sound and breath work, because a lot of this does also with spinal cord exercises, sounds for your organs to heal different parts of your organs. There's different meditation techniques. There's also an inner smile that I love, that he tells you to smile on your organs. Because again, these things are living. And if we're not acknowledging them, and then we're just thinking, oh, okay, well, you just do your job, and we're not saying thank you for processing the food that I ate, or thank you for the breath that is unseen, or thank you for circulating the blood through my body, whatever that is. Each of these parts in our body, these organs, they play a role. But if we're not breathing into it and having the awareness, then again, we are not connecting with nature. And so he kind of goes into and connects nature with our bodies from certain aspects and things. Miss Linda J, I see you raise your hand.
I did. I just want to say thank you for this topic. Us as Black women, sometimes we don't want to talk about breast cancer. The early stages of catching it. I have a friend now going through stage 4. And unfortunately, the breast cancer has spread it to her brain, but she's doing well. She's doing chemo. Mm-hmm. She also did a lot of the herbs, and she was a very healthy person, very, nutritious base, alternative medicines, So it does camp you. If you keep all that hidden anger and grief in your body, it does catch up with you. That cancer germ that's lingering will find a way to get into you. My thing was just saying is, as Black women, we dance, and to take a dance class, an exercise class, let that sweat come out, massage yourself after that sweat. You're releasing those toxins that need to come out of your body. And that's okay. People say, you sweat all the time. Say, yes, because I'm releasing something I need to release, and enjoy yourself and have a good day. So that's all I want to say to that. Thank you.
I really appreciate you putting that into the space of the dancing and the movement, because we don't move, especially sometimes as we age, we get comfortable. I found myself, I used to do retail, so I was always standing, walking, and moving, to where now I'm desk and may sit on the floor and all of these things. But I have a standing desk now so that I can stand, and a walking thing that's underneath my desk so I can walk while I'm standing at my desk. It's all of these different things that we can definitely bring in. And I love that you brought in for the emotional aspect, because most of the time it is the emotions that are causing a lot of the ailments or dis-ease in the body. Miss Harriet, I think you unmuted. I don't know if it was an accident or not. I just wanted to acknowledge that I saw that you were unmuted and didn't know if you had a share.
Yes, I just wanted to say good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for this topic. Hey, Gaily Mae, that's my sister. Um, I just wanted to say, I swim 3 days a week and I do weights 2 days a week, but I make it a point to get in the jacuzzi for 15 minutes and then I sit in a sauna for 20 minutes. So I just wanted to agree with the lady that sweating, that sweat coming out your body, it really does help my emotions, my stress level. I come out of there, I'm relaxed. So I would definitely encourage you if you can get in the sauna and sweat for 20 minutes and come out of there. I put oil on my body so it helps me sweat even more. And so I just wanted to agree with her that that sweating is very relaxing for your body when you come out of there. And thank you so much for this topic.
Oh, thank you for your share. I also want to share, they have, for those that may not have gym memberships and can't get to a sauna, do know that they do have the sauna blankets on Amazon. So you can look into a sauna blanket. I will pull up a video so you can see the visual because some people are visual. But these are sauna blankets that you can get for yourself. You definitely want to read the reviews and whatnot, because again, I am not affiliated with any of these companies. I just again am bringing you to a place of mindfulness of what these options and things that are out there for you. You have some that are only $90, but definitely you can do that. Or one of my favorite ways to sweat is get in the tub as hot as I can stand it and then get in, wrap myself in a lot of blankets and sweat that way. That is another way you can sweat, or you can do a steam yourself with some of the herbs that were listed and put a blanket over yourself and have the pot or whatever underneath you. Those are other ways that you can also do sweats. Ms. Kakoye shared, I get a memo every year because I told my gynecologist because I've had breast cancer, I need that memo to avoid undue worry. She agreed and authorized the memo, even though I'm beyond the age limit for it. So again, those that may have been told, advocate for yourself. That is a thing that we must do in all of these different environments, because again, they are just taught to do a certain thing, stick to the script, and there is a script, just like Ijanla shared in the chat. A lot of the guidelines are driven by what the insurance will cover. We also have to think about the pharmaceutical companies and all of that relationship with those people. So again, these preventative measures of dancing, sweating, massaging yourself, loving on yourself, nurturing yourself, getting the castor oil and getting the oil of oregano, but all of these different things are, again, ways. And then I just want to kind of bring up the alternative ways other than mammograms, because again, that is something, and some insurances may cover it, but the thermography, again, that is a detection of patterns of heat patterns and inflammation before they even form. A breast ultrasound. You have functional blood work that can be done, which is the HSCRP, the LDH, the homocysteine ferritin, the hormone panels, also the estrogen balance, vitamin D, zinc, and copper ratio, and also the CBC and metabolic panels. Again, these are things that we are not even told about. We say, oh, let's get a full physical, but some of these blood works may not have been done. And you may even find yourself being shocked by whomever saying, well, how do you know about that? Or we don't offer that. If you do get that, my suggestion would be to check around. Check around, check your resources, don't give up. Again, advocate for yourself, love on yourself, nurturing yourself. I love what Harriet said, 12 days of loving yourself. There's also a thing where you can, if your birthday falls on the 12th or the 13th, for example, every month you take that time to celebrate yourself. Again, those that are nurturers, I being one of them, I have the tendency to nurture people before I nurture myself. And so having a circle of people around you that say, hey, you're doing it again, stop nurturing me, or hey, go and nurture yourself, care for yourself, take a drive down the coast or to the beach or to the river or whatever that may be. Find a way to really love upon yourself and nurture yourself the way that you would nurture a child or someone else. Because again, that is one of the biggest things in our community is that we put other people before us. So I like to thank you all for joining Mindful Mondays with Iya Kemi, The Good Life, and UC Davis in the City of Oakland. Again, although this is a program that is brought to you by UC Davis Alzheimer's Disease Center, we are here all about healthy aging and having the good life. So I look forward to seeing you all next week when we will talk about ADHD awareness, which continues our mental health awareness for this month. Thank you all. Thank you all. I am very, very grateful for your energy and your time and your contribution to today's topic because, yes, we do need to talk about this more. Thank you, Vivian. So are you. You all have a great week. Thank you.